Alrighty, guys, we're going to try this a little differently today. So we're going to talk about some word problems today. This is the worksheet that I attached to the email. If you haven't opened it yet, please do so now. We're gonna use what we've been learning with the sequences, but we're gonna step back for just a second on this assignment, and then tomorrow we will start talking about them a little bit more and make the connection. So today, our first problem, Kyra has been babysitting since the 6th grade. She has now saved $1,000 and wants to open an account at the bank so that she can earn interest on her savings. So instead of just keeping it in a piggy bank, she wants to put it in the bank to earn a little bit of extra cash off of the interest. Simple Bank pays simple interest at a rate of 10%. How much money will Kyra have after 1 year, 2 years, and if she's not adding any money to her account at all, how much would she have after 5 years? Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can come up with an answer. I'll go ahead and get started. If she has $1,000 and we take 10% of that, 10% of $1,000, that would equal $100. And that 100 represents how much interest she would have after 1 year. But the question is, how much money will she have? So after that 1 year, Kyra would have the original amount she put in plus $100 more. So she would have $1,100. Doing the same thing for the following year, after 2 years, she's going to earn an additional $100. So 1,000 times that 10%, but now we're going to multiply it by 2 because there are 2 years that we're talking about here. That's going to give us $200. But again, including the original amount she put in, after 2 years, she would have $1,200. Following this same pattern then, after 5 years, that would be our $500 in interest plus initial 1,000 that she put in. So if you want to calculate it again, 1,000 times 10% times 5 years equals $500 plus the original amount. She would have $1,500. See if you can think of a formula that you could use to do this instead of having to figure it out each and every time. So if you look at this is following a certain pattern here. So for this particular one, it was after 1 year. So if I put a 1 here, do you see the pattern? Our interest amount, the $100, $200, $500, equals our original amount we're putting in, we call that principal, times the interest rate, we'll call that R, times the amount of years we're talking about, we'll call that T. So this first guy here is called simple interest. The interest amount equals the principal times the rate times the time. Now that only gives you interest, so then it's important that after that you continue to add on the original principal to be able to get the full amount. Notice the interest is $100, $200, $500, but our total amounts have that $1,000 added into it. All right, this next problem is pretty similar, so go ahead and pause the video and see if you can do this one on your own. So Raul needs $200 to start a snow cone stand for this hot summer. He borrows the money from a bank that charges 4% simple interest per year. How much will he owe if he wants to wait 1 year? So for 1 year, I have to forgive my crazy handwriting. It's hard writing on the side and upside down. He has $200, so that's going to be our P, our principal, the amount that he has initially. Our R value, or the interest rate, gives it to us here at 4%, so we're going to put that in as a decimal, 0.04. And then we're going to multiply that by T, or the amount of time. So how much if he takes just 1 year? Now again, this is only going to give us the interest amount, but we want to know how much is he going to have to pay back total if he waits that 1 year. So we still have to put in that initial amount that he had borrowed. So 200 times 4% or 0.04 is $8 plus 200 would tell us that he would owe $208. Now what if he waits 2 years instead? So same idea, we have our 200, 0.04 stays the same, so underline that heavily. That stays the same, but what is going to change is the amount of years. That'll be a 2 now. So 200 times 0.04 times 2 is going to be 16, plus the original amount would be $216. Notice that it looks like he's paying $8 per month. It's an arithmetic sequence. Excuse me, per year, not per month, I'm sorry. $8 it increases by every year. So for 3 years, we increase it by another 8. That would be $224. For 4 years, let's increase it by another 8, $232. And for 5 years, let's increase it by another 8, $240. So what's a formula that we can show how much he'll owe after 2 years? Well, that's going to be his principal, which in this case was 200. So 200, or his p-value. We're going to multiply that by the interest rate. The interest rate in this case is 0.04. So the interest rate. And it's asking for t years. We're not sure how many years it's going to be, so let's call it t. Let me put a tail on that so it doesn't look like a plus sign. And again, remember, this only shows the interest part of it. So this chunk here is only the interest. To show how much he's going to owe, we also have to include that original amount in there. So I'm going to also add to that P for the original amount. I don't know where my mouse is.